Breaking news, Fed Chair Jerome Powell just announced interest rate cuts by another quarter point, but despite this news, the stock market is down, partly because of a data blackout due to the government shutdown and some of Powell's comments during the meeting. I will talk about those, what this means for future rate cuts, interest rates that affect every single part of the economy, especially small business owners and entrepreneurs. And I will also talk about this news from the SBA with the ongoing government shutdown. Hundreds of business owners are not getting SBA funding. There's a state-by-state list I'll share with you. I'll start with the Fed rate cut. This is big. It affects everyone in the country. As always, thanks so much for subscribing so you never miss out on any national, economic, funding, or small business related news. And like this video so more folks see this news. Let me start with the positive news. Jerome Powell spoke and announced lowering of interest rates for the second consecutive meeting as part of an effort to prevent the recent slowdown in hiring from turning into something more serious. There's headlines every single day now about massive layoffs across major companies. Here's the one from today. Tens of thousands of white-collar jobs are disappearing as AI starts to bite. Layoffs at companies ranging from Amazon to Target are sending young and experienced workers alike into an unwelcoming market. So that's part of the justification for lowering rates this time around. As an aside, it's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur or small business owner. Even if you have a full-time job today, getting a side hustle going for two reasons. One, it's never been easier. Whether you want to start a product or service-based business, you've got the tools out there for you. You can go to tryskip.com, create a free account, start applying to grants of funding, create an instant website business plan, list your products and services, and start to market. You can do all of that in a few minutes. And the second, AI is really enabling small businesses to compete. There's a reason why Amazon and Target and big companies are laying off thousands of folks because of AI. That's also the advantage for solopreneurs or small businesses, less than 10, 20 employees. You can use AI automations to your advantage. There's a lot of those on Skip, tryskip.com. The link is also in the description. Back to the rate cuts. This cut today will reduce the Fed's benchmark short-term interest rate to a range between 3.75% and 4%. That's the lowest setting in 3 years and down from a peak of 5.4% that was maintained for much of 2024. That's the good news. The potential bad news is the debate over how much further can the Fed go in its cutting. And Jerome Powell hinting that there might not be a cut in December. Part of this is complicated by the data blackout resulting from the government shutdown. So a lot of the inflation and employment reports that are put together by the government that inform a lot of the Fed's decisions are unavailable and were unavailable in today's decision. It was a 10-2 vote in favor of the cut. Here's the chart that shows the history. I've been covering these rate cuts since they went to near zero in 2020 and they skyrocketed back up and now they're going back down. There's still worry about inflation, which has still been running above the target of 2% for several years. Inflation stopped declining this year in a large part due to the tariffs that have been increased by President Trump. So the Fed has been looking to the labor market to help inform what they should do when it comes to rate cuts. But because there's no new labor market indicators due to the government shutdown, the Federal Reserve did not have a lot of the information they needed for this meeting. So it will be very interesting when the government does open back up and we finally get a new labor report and inflation report, what that shows. I'm predicting we're going to see these trends continue. Inflation might stay the same, but hiring, we're still going to see challenges. We're hearing this from a lot of business owners across Skip that might be pulling back on hiring and instead using some automation or AI to help fill roles that normally might be done by one or two people. Now magnify that to the companies with thousands or tens of thousands of employees. I think we're going to still see that continue, which would be a good case for continuing to lower interest rates. So as soon as those new reports come out, I'll cover them here. I can't wait for them. And here we are from the SBA. 320 Main Street businesses are waiting for $170 million in funding because the core lending programs like the 7A program are frozen because of the government shutdown. So of course the SBA, led by Kelly Loeffler, appointed by Trump, is pinning this responsibility on the Democrats so they can reach an agreement and reopen the government. Here's the state-by-state look. California, 212 businesses are awaiting SBA funding worth $126 million. That's the largest state by far. Then Texas, Florida, New York, a few hundred folks awaiting their SBA loans there too. followed by Georgia 49, Illinois 60, Colorado 46, Ohio 67. There's the dollar amount. Are you waiting for SBA funding? If so, you're captured on this list here. And of course, if you want to look for other funding on Skip, in addition to having the major grant programs across the US that you can apply to, you can also look up line of credit options or loan options for your business. So there's private funding options here for you as well that aren't affected by the government shutdown. Always options for you for free to check out. But let me know in the comments what you think about today's rate cut. Is it enough? Do you think there should be another one in December? And how are you feeling about the two primary indicators affecting the economy, inflation and jobs and hiring? How are you feeling about both of those? Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.